Hello, I'm Ryan Mulholland, and welcome to Talk of the Town, the show where we talk to your government leaders in the town of North Hempstead. Today, we are pleased to be joined by the town councilwoman from North Hempstead's 6th Council District, Dina De Giorgio. Dina, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Dina, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, your career in public service, maybe some of the positions that you've held previously?
So prior to being elected the councilwoman, I was always involved in different aspects of my community. So when my children were in elementary school, I was on the Parents Council, I was involved with the HSAs, I always volunteered on committees, and I always enjoyed getting to know other people in my community and helping other people. I also was a member of the Legal Resource Network. I'm an attorney, and the Legal Resource Network is the pro bono arm of the Nassau County Coalition Against Domestic Violence. So as a member of the network, I offered pro bono representation to women that were clients of the county, the Nassau County Coalition Against Domestic Violence. So I would represent them in family court, I would represent them in the Supreme Court, help them get divorced, help them collect child support, in some instances represented them when they were trying to get orders of protection against an abusive spouse. And I did that for quite a few years before being elected as councilwoman.
Right. So how did you get into public service? How did you get into the...
You know, I call myself the accidental politician. It wasn't something that I ever really thought about doing. There was, I was elected in 2011. I took office in 2012. It's a 4-year term. And I was approached by some people in my community who thought that, you know, I might be a good candidate. It would be a good opportunity for me. My husband actually grew up in Port Washington. He went to Schreiber High School. We moved back to Port Washington when my son was born 18 years ago. And we both were really, really involved in the community. So I had always liked volunteering and getting to know people and helping people solve problems. That's my training as a lawyer, problem solver. So extending it to public service seemed like it made sense. So I, ran my campaign, I won, and here I sit.
Right, right. So you said you have a 4-year term, and that is up at what point?
So the term is up in 2015.
Okay.
So next year, if I choose to run again, I have to run again for re-election. And it's exciting. I mean, I enjoy the job. It's something very different, very challenging. But I get to use my skills as an attorney, my skills as a mediator, because I'm also a trained mediator, and that skill set helps in terms of problem solving.
Right, right. So you are the councilwoman for District 6. What are the areas that you represent in that district?
So I represent all of Port Washington, including the 5 villages in Port Washington: Port North, Baxter Estates, Manor Haven, Sands Point, Flower Hill. And then Flower Hill has a Port Washington part and the Manhasset part. I represent the whole village. I represent the village of Muncie Park and the 3 Plandomes: Plandome Heights, Plandome Manor, and the village of Plandome.
Right, right. So I know one of the big initiatives that you've kind of undertaken has been marketing Port Washington, as far as there's a Welcome to Port Washington brochure that came out earlier this year. Maybe you can talk a little bit about why that's important, some of the attractions that there are in Port Washington for residents and for visitors.
Well, Port Washington is a really great place. I'm from Port Washington. I think it's terrific. I love living there. But we also offer a lot in terms of things to do. It's a very historical place. It has a lot of history in Port Washington. John Philip Sousa lived there. The Guggenheims lived there. The Sands family lived there. And it's a waterfront community, and it's the only place in the town of North Hempstead where we have a public access to the waterfront in terms of the town dock. So there are a lot of businesses that offer services related to the water. There's a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of shops, and there's a lot of things to do. It seemed like a natural fit to try to promote that, to attract tourism, tourists and visitors, to try to boost our local business economy.
Right, right. So also in Port Washington, another big goal is the increasing parking. I know there's always, sometimes a concern there's not enough parking or whatnot. So what are you doing to be able to improve that?
Well, parking's a big challenge, I think, everywhere.
Right.
There are a lot more cars today than there were 10 or 15 years ago. So we've done a few things. The town has purchased land and converted it to parking lots. So we are currently working on the last piece of land that was acquired by the town a few years ago. We are in the process of converting it to a parking lot. It's located on Upper Main Street, right off of Port Washington Boulevard. And we are dedicating that parking lot to merchant employee parking. We have a lot of commuter parking in Port Washington, and we have a lot of retail parking, but we do not have spaces designated exclusively for business owners and employees. And since I was elected, the business community has certainly voiced the need to have dedicated merchant and employee parking.
Right, right. So basically, one final question. What's your favorite thing about public service? I mean, you've been a councilwoman for 3 years now. What's the one thing or a couple things that kind of make you tick and want to serve the residents of District 6?
The best part about being a public servant is serving the public and being able to solve their problems. It's very gratifying when someone calls you with a problem or a situation where they want to implement a new program, and you're able to actually accomplish that goal. And fortunately, in the last 3 years, I've been able to tackle a lot of problems, work on a lot of problems, and accomplish a lot of things in Port Washington, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do that.
Okay, terrific. Well, thank you so much for being here. I think we learned a lot today about District 6 and everything, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thanks,
stopping by.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching Talk of the Town. As always, to find out more about your local elected officials or what is going on around town, log on to the town's official Facebook and Twitter pages. So see you again next time as we talk to another one of your government leaders in the town of North Hempstead. Have a great day.